Have you ever wondered what happens after a soldier comes home? I mean, really happens? Today, we're sharing a story that goes beyond the battlefield, a story about a man named Michael Thompson. Michael grew up in a small town in Kansas, inspired by his grandfather, a World War II veteran. His granddad once told him, "Duty doesn't always feel good, son, but some things you do because someone has to." Those words echoed in Michael's mind, and in 1998, he enlisted in the Army. He became a proud member of the 101st Airborne Division. Life was a whirlwind of training and missions, building an unbreakable bond with his fellow soldiers. He was known as the calm, reliable one. But on September 11, 2001, the world changed, and so did Michael's path. In 2003, he was deployed to Iraq. The reality of war was nothing like the movies. The desert heat was suffocating, the dust was blinding, and danger lurked around every corner. In his letters home he wrote, "You can't tell who's the enemy and who's not. The kids smile at you, but you never know." Then came the day his life shattered. His squad was ambushed, hit by an IED. Michael watched in horror as two of his closest friends were lost in an instant. He rushed to help, but it was too late. He received a commendation for his bravery, but he never felt like a hero. The guilt and the images were seared into his memory. After more than a decade of service, Michael came home in 2010. He had a wife, Lisa, and a young daughter, Emma. He thought he was leaving the war behind, but he soon realized he had brought it home with him. The sound of fireworks on the 4th of July felt like an attack. A bag on the side of the road looked like a bomb. He was drowning in nightmares and couldn't sleep. Lisa saw him slipping away. "You're not the same," she told him, her voice filled with a gentle sadness. He knew she was right. He felt isolated, lost in a fog of confusion and alcohol. The diagnosis finally came: post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. He lost his job, and soon after, his marriage crumbled. One cold, desperate night, Michael found himself parked by a frozen lake, his grandfather's words echoing in his mind. "You came back from war and moved on," he whispered to the silence. "Why can't I?" He felt completely broken. He turned on the radio, and a simple ad for a veteran's mental health program cut through the static. He almost didn't make the call. But in that moment of absolute despair, he reached for his phone. That single act of courage would change everything. He drove to Denver and walked into the VA center, full of distrust and skepticism. But slowly, through therapy and connecting with other veterans fighting the same invisible war, he began to heal. He met a Marine named Carlos, who told him, "We're still at war, brother. The battlefield's just inside us now." For the first time, Michael didn't feel so alone. He found a new mission. He started volunteering at a homeless shelter for veterans, helping them navigate the system, find work, and, most importantly, feel seen. In helping others, he was also helping himself piece his own life back together. Today, Michael lives a quiet life in Denver. His daughter Emma is now in college, studying psychology. Inspired by her father's journey, she wants to help veterans, too. Michael shares his story at schools and works with a nonprofit that trains service dogs. The scars are still there. He has bad days, and the echoes of war never fully disappear, but now he has the tools to face them. On a shelf in his apartment, a photo of his grandfather in uniform sits next to a photo of himself in Iraq. Every morning, he looks at them and knows his duty, continues it, just looks different now. Michael's story reminds us that coming home isn't just about crossing an ocean. It's about finding your way back to yourself. It's about the courage to ask for help and the strength to rebuild, one day at a time. Thank you for watching. If you were moved by this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that matters.